What's up guys, it's George Liu, and today I want to compare sparring versus mitt work. Which one will make you a better fighter? Doesn't matter if you're a beginner, amateur, or already a professional fighter. So first, if you are new to boxing and you don't know what sparring or mitt work are, let me explain. So sparring is when two fighters are wearing protective gear like a headgear, a groin protector, gloves, mouthpiece, and they simply fight each other. It's usually inside a ring, and there is no recorded winner or loser, so it's for training purposes only. Sparring is also the closest thing you can to an actual fight, whether it's professional or an amateur fight. Sparring is different from an amateur and professional fight because, again, there are no judges. The only people there are the coaches and maybe other people watching the sparring. Also, the big difference is with professional, you don't wear a headgear and the gloves are really small. Now, mitt work is when a trainer has focus mitts on or any punching equipment and you guys are drilling a specific combination. For example, in this clip, my coach is calling out a specific combination and I already know the target focus mitt will be there. Okay, so now that we know the difference between sparring and mitt work, which one is better? Which one will make you a better fighter? On one side, you have coaches that only have their fighters spar and no mitt work, and on the other side, you see coaches hold off sparring for a long period of time and only focus on mitt work. If you're a complete beginner, mitt work is the way to go. Before you start sparring, you need to know the fundamentals of boxing, proper hand placement, proper punching technique, and mitt work is all about drilling. So with mitt work, you can practice the correct technique and not get hit back. When you're sparring, obviously you're going to get hit. However, depending on your coach, you might get slapped if you keep dropping your hands after you throw a punch. So if you're new and you're just starting out, don't worry about sparring yet. I know it's very exciting. Mitt work is where you practice correct technique, and sparring is where you develop your style. When you spar, you do things that you normally wouldn't do, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And if they don't work, you have to pay the price. Now let's say you've been training for a bit and you've been doing a lot of mitt work for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, however long, and you have a good foundation, you have proper technique, then you can jump into sparring. Sparring is where you apply what you've been working on the mitts. There's many boxers or boxing enthusiasts or just casual fans that study the sport, they watch film, and they may know proper technique. Maybe they have a heavy bag at home and they hit the bag. They watch YouTube videos and learn how to throw proper technique, but it's completely different when you're punching mitts and when you're punching somebody. Sparring is completely different from mitt work. You may know a lot about boxing technique, but like Dale Carnegie says, knowledge isn't power until it's applied. I've seen many boxers that are really good on the mitts. They're fast, they look super sharp, they have a pop when they hit the mitts, but when it comes time to sparring, all of that goes out the window. It's tough, it's easy to criticize a fighter. When you spar, you have so much more to worry about than just throwing correct punches. You have to worry about defending, offense, your footwork. On top of that, conditioning is completely different from hitting the mitts. You may be able to do a few rounds on the mitts, but I promise you, sparring takes a different kind of conditioning. I coach aside from being a professional boxer, and I've seen it firsthand. Some of my students look absolutely great on the mitts. They're fast, like I said, they're fast, sharp, they have a big pop, they're pumped when they hit the mitts, but they can even hit the mitts for a couple rounds. But the moment I have them spar, they're gassed out within a minute and a half. Sparring is essential. You have to do it. If you're trying to be a better boxer, you have to put in the work. It's taxing to your body. You may have some pains afterward. You may even have a headache the first couple times you spar, but you have to do it in order to improve your boxing skills. In sparring, you have to pay for the mistakes that you get away with from hitting the mitts. Okay, so let's say you've been boxing for a while. You know the technique, you know the fundamentals, and you're eager to spar. How many times a week should you spar? Well, if you're barely starting out, I'd say no more than twice a week. And space it out. Let's say you're sparring twice a week. Let's say you spar on Monday, take Tuesday, Wednesday off from sparring, and then do it again on Thursday. So if you're barely starting out, I suggest only sparring twice a week. You're getting hit in your head and your body. You need to recover. You need a couple days to let your body heal. You may even get a headache the first couple of times you spar. Maybe your neck is sore, your back is sore. You're going to feel soreness from places you've never been sore in your life before. So once you can handle twice a week, you can bump it up to 3 times a week. And instead of doing it 1 day on, 2 days off, you can spar every other day. Usually When I'm training, I'll spar Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then sometimes I'll add on a Saturday, but it'll be a lighter day. And if you're sparring 3 times a week, by this time you already have experience. You've probably been in the game for a bit. I'd say anything over 6 months, you should be ready for 3 times a week. Now, I usually kept sparring at 3 times a week, but if you're experienced or if you're a professional fighter, then you can add in another sparring, but make it lighter. Work on situational stuff. Let's say your back is up against a rope and you're working your way to get out of there. It doesn't have to be hard, but your opponent could put pressure. And it's different from hitting the mitts because, again, it's easy to get away with mistakes when you're hitting the mitts. When you're sparring, you have to worry about getting hit, so it's more realistic. Okay, what about mitt work? How many times a week should you be doing mitt work? Well, mitt work is not as taxing as sparring, so you can really do it almost every day. As long as you don't have any hand injuries or any sort of pain, you can pretty much do mitt work every day. Like I said earlier, mitt work is about drilling and going over the combinations over and over again until they become muscle memory. And once you get them down, then you transfer that into sparring, and that's when you really know, does it work or does it not work? You know, sometimes you see certain fighters, they throw a beautiful combination and you really want to learn how to throw it. You talk to your coach, you practice it, maybe it looks good on the mitts, but then you try it in sparring and it doesn't work out. So my favorite mitts to use are, this would be a perfect time to drop a sponsor, but I don't have a boxing equipment sponsor, so come on, sponsor me. Every coach has their own preference, you know. I like to use kind of the cheap quality ones. They're lightweight. Well, this is not too cheap, but I like using Rivals. They're soft on my hands. They didn't cost too much. My coach likes to use Tidal. Those are a little more rough. It depends on your coach's preferences, but also you as a fighter. You know, if your coach is using a specific mitt, but you just doesn't feel good with your hands when you punch, maybe your wrist keeps bending or your knuckles hurt, then talk to your coach and tell him, hey, let's try different mitts, or maybe you just need to get better at your punches. But there are many companies out there that make mitts, so like Winning is really hot, Tidal, Ringside, they have their own, Everlast, Rival, Adidas. There's so many companies out there, you just have to go buy some and give them a try for yourself. Alright, so what's better, mitt work or sparring? Well, they're both necessary. They're both essential, but at different times. So if you are a complete beginner and just starting out, don't worry about sparring yet. Focus on mitt work, focus on learning the fundamentals, proper technique, proper footwork, hands up, chin down. Focus on your boxing technique first, and you can do that with mitt work. If you're an amateur or you've been boxing for a bit, start incorporating both. Try certain combinations on the mitts, and then give them a try when you spar. And again, you should spar a couple times a week, nothing too much. Now, if you're a professional, you've been doing this for a long time, maybe you're really experienced, I would emphasize sparring because that's the most realistic thing to a fight. So practice a combination on the mitts, of course, and then try them out in sparring, and that's when you see what really works for you and what fits your style better. With that said, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Do you like sparring? Do you like mitt work? Do you like both? Let me know in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to reach that by September 1st. Hopefully this video is out by then. That's pretty much it. See you later.